Greetings, my friends! This is Yanis Kombatsiaris with Apocalyptic Nights, and today we'll discuss the matter of surviving a sucker punch. Now, you may or may not be aware of the fact that there is a new stupid fashion, let's call it, going around in some parts of the world where gangs of young people target other people, not necessarily young, just at any age and even any gender, and they try to sucker punch them. They try to knock them out, so they call it knockout king or other names that are a little more racist sometimes, such as polar bear hunting, when it happens with groups of black young males attacking white people. And they think it's cool. They think it's cool to just walk up to somebody and just knock them out. They think it, I don't know, it proves something. Like what? Like the human being can be knocked out? It is an incredibly disgusting thing. It's going against any type, any form of civilization, you know, in any shape, way or form. And you should be able to survive it. You should be able to not get knocked out. Now, that's easier said than done when you get sucker punched, because basically somebody walks up to you when you are not aware of that and just punches you, and a punch can come in fragments of a second. So it's really difficult to avoid it. So, you know, the option of blocking it usually is not there, because raising your hands like this to just cover, you know, just to close yourself up or to block it in any way, like just raising your hands in front of your face takes some time, and that time is slightly more than the time he needs to punch you. If you add to that, to the equation, the fact that you are not aware of the fact that he's going to punch you until the punch is already flying on its way, then that makes it really difficult to defend against it by just blocking it. It actually makes it almost impossible. I would say it makes it impossible. But there is something you can do. There is something you can do to survive it and then have a fighting chance. I mean, just get into position and start fighting. And if you are a better fighter than the other person, just kick his ass from everybody else. Just do us that favor, okay? So that thing is that first you need to try to see if you can raise your shoulders. Like, can you do this? Can you do this? The ideal is if you can touch your rear, just raise your shoulders. I'm not tilting my body, you know. I'm just raising my shoulder. It needs a degree of, you know, flexibility, I guess. You just need to be able to raise your shoulders. If you cannot do that, just do some stretching exercises, you know. Just try to stretch every day until you can make it. Yeah, just try to do it. Just try to raise your shoulders higher every time. Because it's actually a very important way of defending. Not only in this situation, but generally in fighting. So when a sucker punch comes, it takes time to lift your hands in a defensive position. But it doesn't really take almost any time to just do this. Lift your shoulder. See, what I'm doing, I'm hiding my chin, which is number one target. And then, of course, there is this part of the head, which messes up with the equilibrium more. It doesn't knock you out. The chin does knock you out. Here you just lose your sense of balance. But still, you can raise your shoulder just enough, very fast. Like a punch is coming, and then I'm just immediately doing this. I'm hiding behind my shoulder. See? Here's my shoulder. I'm just lifting it until I'm hiding my chin behind it. And that I can do in an instant. Like, if I have even the tiniest amount of time, even like 1/10 of a second or less, I can do that, no problem. Like, this is very fast. It's incredibly fast. It can be a reflex, basically. You hide your chin behind your shoulder. Now, there is a part of the head that you can see is still exposed to a punch that is coming very fast. But together with this is the first thing you have to keep in mind, like to kind of train, to make it instinctive. Hide behind your shoulder. But then you need to create a little bit of space to give you that 1 second to assess the situation. to take a fighting position, to see if what's happening and if you have to fight or not, if like to just assess the situation. Is there a gang of 15 people? Should I just run instead of fight? Like, those things take about a second. You need that second also to get into position for fighting, or at least defending with your hands and everything. So what you do together with this is you tilt backwards. You tilt backwards and see how the target of my head disappears now. Because if I'm like this, they can still punch me in the head. They cannot punch my chin now, but they can punch my head and get me off balance. But if I do this, if I tilt, the punch will come this way and will just graze my head. It will never transfer enough force to my head to even do any kind of damage to me. So basically you just lift your shoulder, tilt backwards and take a step back. This will create the distance and keep you safe, and then you can just get in fighting position and just be ready to either fight or just punch a few times and go, or whatever. Like, you have to decide then. So that's a small simple trick. It does take a little bit of exercise to get used to it and to make it instinctive. I hope it helps. This is Yanis Kombatsiaris with Apocalyptic Nights. Have a very, very nice day.